So tell me today. So home's paid off, raised 3 beautiful daughters. You've instilled amazing values into them. They're all on their own journeys, doing really well. Couple of investment properties under wing. Where money invested in a fund, earning 12 grand a month. Where to from here?
Yeah.
What's the goal?
I remember
Because
saying...
we've had I call it a sabbatical, right?
Yeah.
You had
Correct.
the sabbatical, you did the camping, you turned off to the world, you met some really salt of the earth, beautiful people, you've travelled parts of the outback, the world.
Yeah.
What's next on the journey?
I still remember saying to you, G, I'll never, ever work again because I was done.
Yeah.
And you said, yes, you will. And I was like, he does not know me. I'm working. But I work for a non-for-profit. I work for the Cancer Council in their accommodation section, which is my background, having a motel, helping or assisting those from regional South Australia when they need treatment in Adelaide to have somewhere to stay.
Accommodation.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Great cause, great place to work, but I don't have the stress that I have to work. I don't take it home with me.
Yep.
I can clock off and go, I'm back to being me.
Yep.
And I just do that a couple of days a week, and it's a lovely...
It's a fulfilling role as well.
Correct. It's great. Okay. I love it. I love what I do, but I don't feel the pressure that I felt at the motel. Yeah.
Well done.
So that's good.
Told you it'd work.
I know. I didn't think I would. But I like the option.
And you don't have to.
I don't have to.
That's a nice position to be in.
It is. I think it doesn't feel like work because I'm choosing to do it when I don't have to.
And the people listening in at home that are just listening and not part of our community, or if you are part of our community, everybody thinks that when you create wealth or you sell a business or you get some money or inherit, that you'll do nothing.
Yeah.
Only for a short period of time to
Correct.
Reset your emotions or health or wealth, whatever it is. Then eventually you wake up one day and go, oh, I'm not growing. I'm like, you get bored, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So, and then you need human beings organically, naturally desire to be a little bit better.
Yep.
Just that 1% better. Most people, 1% better each day, unless you give up. So, so everyone will always keep doing something. I mean, I don't need to work. I mean, I love what I do. Look, there's days where I go, fuck, I'm going to throw the phone away and go out bush or something as well for about 3 minutes and then realise I've got no air conditioning. I'm fucking home.
Yeah.
But there's the good days are always better than the most horrific days.
Yep.
So.
Back at work, G, but the aim is to continue to grow our portfolio. And you said about, people want to be 1% better. I want to be a 1%er.
Okay.
And
because 1% each day adds up to a hell of a lot.
Yeah, but I want to be I want to be in the 1%. And you've used them before, and at the Christmas show, Baban, when he gave his presentation, spoke about a whole range of things, which included stats. But I think it's less than 1% of the Australian population have 5 or 6 or more investment properties.
Hardly anyone.
Yeah. So I'd be really happy to be a 1%er in that regard, but continue to grow beyond that. We saw there was a guy on masterclass on the weekend that you did some coaching with, Dane, I think his name was, and you drew the diagram that looked like the one that you put up on the whiteboard for us with the waterfall strategy. Yeah, that's where we'd like to be.
Yeah, and I don't mean Steven really struggled to find work since we've moved to Adelaide, which we just found ridiculous.
It's hard because in society these days, especially post-COVID, nobody wants to hire anyone better than them. I had a bit of an issue with it here with some middle management that are no longer here. They wouldn't hire people smarter than them. Like, you're in that job. You're not going anywhere. Go and build a team of 20 people better and smarter than you. You don't have to really do fuck all, but you'll get paid to lead them. They'll make you look great.
Yeah.
We had a tendency, a period of time when they were hiring people that were terrible, which they thought would make them look good. But it was terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had to clean it all out along with them. Whereas I want people that are fucking way smarter than me.
Yep.
Way smarter than me. I'm not that bright.
Yeah.
I'll outwork anyone, but I'm not that bright.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think now that we both have got jobs, it's about probably reassessing and going forward again, I would think.
Yeah, that cash is trash. We need, like, as good as it's been, to give us the breather that we've needed. We're using the interest, and that's our main income stream.
That $3
so
grand a week.
that 1.2 is not 1.2 anymore. It's 1.2 less whatever inflation's been over the last 12 months.
And that's the cash flow's great, but there's no capital.
Correct.
So now we've got to.
Now that we've got jobs and we've got our income settled, it's time to go back, have a look at that, and see. How much we can draw off that.
So we're going to have to do REM this month.
Maybe.
Yeah. But you got to wear socks. Pants are optional. Pants are optional, but socks are a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
If you buy Mark a kebab, he's anyone's.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, he's got one coming this month anyway. Lou's teed up for kebab this month.
Louis been threatening a kebab for years. He's never delivered.
Yeah. Okay.
Never delivered.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But I can do socks for you, Gene. Not a problem.
Done.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the next evolution for you guys is we've had some pretty thrifty structures and strategies to buy time, provide income, as well as capital, but now that we've evolved a little bit and had that reset and that break, we own the home. Now it's probably more about building again, rather than we were maintaining, providing income and building.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like now the next evolution, the next phase is, all right, let's go back into full build mode.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yep.
Okay, I've got a bit of work to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's two things that excite me about that. One is that we'll be doing that parallel with our youngest daughter, who's
just joined. Yeah.
And also, it's amazing. You have three kids from the same family, all entirely different personalities, and they're all on their different pathways, right?
Yeah.
Being able to get ourselves closer to be able to really help our middle daughter,
right,
in terms of getting her
but we
on
do
the investment
have
pathway as well.
Whatever you do for one, you must do for three.
The
Even though the other two don't need it.
Yep.
I'm totally principle based that
you give $1, you give $3.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And we want to be in that
position
so that we can help the middle one, but that also means the other two, because
but for us it doesn't mean they have to do it all at the same time, but you still need to be fair over the journey, right?
Okay.
Yep.
But our eldest has done well. They will join Infinity. It's just
everybody's got to come to it in their own time.
Yeah, you can't force.
You can't force someone into a cult, mate.
No, I know, right? It's a very select cult.
And it's funny.
Still want my cult leader benefits.
Like, I feel like Steven does not non-for-profit work for Infinity. Like, so the other day, I said, I'll meet you for. He had gone to the gym, I'd gone running, and I said, we'll meet at the coffee shop. And he's got a person from the gym there. And I thought, okay, it's obviously an Infinity meeting. And so he's got...
they're picking your brain or something?
Let me explain that.
No, let me go.
This will be good.
He says to the waiter, do you have a napkin? I just need to write some stuff down. And so... So he's writing stuff. And that was like... We've had meetings in the park with people from the gym who want to know about Infinity. And I'm like...
Good on you.
Steven.
Just watch the webinar.
But he's passionate.
Yeah. And look, I think when you can see drastic change for your family, you want to give back. Oh, he's sharing today. You want to give back. That's a natural evolution, which actually leads me into a really cool question. For the people listening at home that aren't part of our paid community, they're not a client, right?
Yeah.
That, hey, I can't afford it right now. I'm struggling. I'm week to week, or I'm a single parent. What are a couple of things that you could share with them? We always hear like you don't know what you don't know and all this, but what are some tips you could share with people that are tuning into this? Like, how important is a budget, or should they be doing this, or should they be listening to their, I don't know, what would you share from your journey today? Because you guys are pretty savvy. You have very successful businesses, very strong roles in careers, raised beautiful family. You guys aren't dum-dums by any extent. You're very sharp people. So, but again, you've learned quite a lot in a short space of time.
Yep. Again, you don't know what you don't know. We always have had a budget. I think I told you once that Steven's budget was $10 a week, and that was to buy beer with as well.
That was my personal spending,
Yeah. But that was 30
odd
years
ago. Not much
ago.
for a triple F, Graham. $10.
Mate, you wouldn't even get a kebab for a tenner these days.
But even though we had, like, we've always had a budget, we didn't when we had the motel. We had a very good lifestyle and didn't watch pennies probably as much as we should have. But I think Infinity just gives you the support and teaches you and encourages you that it's not hard to live within a budget. And a budget doesn't mean you have to go without.
I always say that it's not living in scarcity. It's actually abundance. Just take the word budget and call it into freedom, escape plan, abundance, whatever. But a budget is actually you. This goes here, this goes there. Date night is this, or this is family day, or whatever.
Correct.
I think there's just such a negative connotation on the word budget.
Absolutely.
We all think it means weight loss, money loss, diet, as opposed to
and it's bad.
Flow and allocation. And so that's a good one.
I know that our youngest said, I've got to send my bank statement. She goes, they'll kick me off. And I said, no, they won't, Rory. I said, they're the choices that you've made. Pre-today. And I said, you don't have to give them all up. If they're important to you, then you decide how much you want to have for investing.
You want to buy 2 coffees every day, you buy 2 coffees. But I'm going to tell you the ramifications of that action.
And I think once people get involved, they realise that those small things add up.
Yeah. And they might have 1 coffee a day, but not 5.
Correct.
Yeah.
Gee, what was your question?
So is there anything you want to share with anyone else listening at home that maybe isn't an Infinity client or couldn't afford to be, or just anyone that tunes in? I know the other week we had like 38 or 48,000 hits on the podcast in a week or so, which is wild, right?
Yeah.
So there's obviously a huge amount. I don't have that many clients. There's a huge amount of people out there looking for help.
Yeah.
So if there was someone right now, Bob and Mary, sitting at home, they're watching this, what are 2 or 3 things that you could tell them from what you've learned along the way, whether it's life, whether it's Infinity? What's a couple of pointers you could give someone right now going, fuck, I'm week to week. Thank bloody interest rates just went down. It saved me fucking 16 cents a month. Thank gosh for that. But what would you share with people tuning in at home? A couple of practical tips.
I think you're probably one of the only people that I know, if you can't help, you'll refund their money.
Oh, that's
if you can't save the money, you'll give them.
It's money back guarantee.
It's money back guarantee.
That's because we don't have the commission breath anymore. When you're in a position, and this is when you talked about advice and stuff before, when you're in a position of abundance, you actually don't give a shit about money. It's like when I worked in a bank, money just becomes like paper in an office, right? So we're in such a strong position now as a business, as an entity. If we can't add a mutually value, if we add mutual value, you win, we win. Here's the cost. Here's the return on investment. Great.
Yep.
If not, that's only going to end in tears. So here's your money back.
Yep.
We've lost money for assessing you. That's labor. That's time. But hey, we move on. We're really cool.
Yep.
I think all business should operate that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't.
But imagine if all business became somewhat risk-free. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey, pay, we'll assess.
Yeah.
Money back, we can get this result in writing. It's math, not opinion. Great, let's do it together. And off we go and we get the result. If not, here's the money back. I mean,
it's the answer to your question is pretty simple to me. It's not about little tips here and there, Graham. It's actually that the answer is staring them there in the face. And it's about having a holistic approach to things, which is what you get through Infinity.
But how would you find that in the open market? Like, forget Infinity. Does it exist? No. I mean, you guys have been how do you get a Mark and a Graham and a mate?
Not that I know of. And Jay, like you've said, quite in such a complimentary way, sharp people, fair bit of experience and knowledge. Yeah. And as we went through the process of onboarding with Infinity, there were a bunch of light bulb moments or reminders. Oh, yeah, I knew that. Oh, yeah, that's right. You can do that. But going through the process bought all of those together, and it was like, oh, you dumb fuck, of course. Why didn't you realise that? Of course you can do that.
I call it PhD, push here dummy. That's how complicated I make it like.
Yeah, but you've pulled all those bits together and it's there. It's there. It's right in front of your face.
And you start to recall, I learnt that at school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, compound interest isn't relevant at school.
You weren't ready to absorb it.
You're not going to get a mortgage until you're 28 or 30. You're like, so we do learn it.
Yep.
We just let go of it.
Yeah. So it's a holistic approach. The package is there. All of the various elements have been thought through by experts with experience to be able to put that relevant to your circumstances. So, you can try and be the genius and work it out yourself, or you can make the investment and you'll see the rewards if you stick to the process, right?
Yeah, so I think, and to summarise that for someone that couldn't use our services, I would say they need a holistic approach. Yep. You can't Band-Aid over here and go, right, I have a budget, but still do something wrong over here. Or you can't say I want to build wealth by, okay, I'm just going to minimise my tax, but I'm not prepared to invest at the same time. So I think, so it's for those people that maybe skeptical, this, that, I think you need a holistic approach. You're going to need to look at your cash flow. You're going to need to go through your statements like your daughter's.
Yep.
It's everything. There's no magical button. And I love in social media, people are like, oh, so you just pay more. Well done, fucking genius.
Yeah.
The lack of emotional intelligence in the people that comment on my posts on that, I actually laugh at. And every now and then I have a crack. Most of the time I just fucking delete and block. Yeah. Because they're never going to become a client.
Yep.
And if it was that fucking simple, and people that comment, you just pay more, they're the dumb fucks that don't pay more. Yeah. But they comment and go, you just paid more. Yeah. Great. The solution to everything. How much more are you paying? I'm not, but.
Yeah.
Fucking please.
Yeah.
So, but I think you're right. It is holistic. You can't say, I'm going to join the gym on January 1, but I'm going to continue to eat KFC every night. I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to restrict what I eat. I'm going to make sure I eat. It's got to be everything. Yep. It's almost all or nothing.
That's what I was going to say. You've
very
got
black
to commit.
and very white.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
And if you commit to it, you'll see the results. And there's been, I don't know, what inspires me is other people's podcasts, listening to people. And I go, most of them are everyday people.
Yeah. Well, with the Chrissy parties and the events and around you, they're just everyday people.
They're normal
Doc
people.
Wilson says all this. It's a teacher and a plumber and a chip here. You're just meeting these normal everyday people. You're like, wow, you got how many? You've got what? You paid off your more. It's like, whoa.
Absolutely. And I think that is so inspiring to see they're real people. They're real results.
I love the sweeps that everybody puts on in the Facebook group, and
I made a little cartoon for it.
It's almost like, oh, geez, I'm jealous I don't have a mortgage because then I can post my winning sweeps.
I mean, we could always buy a newer, bigger house or something and go into some debt, but
maybe not.
Love it. Maybe not. Good. Love it. Wait till the Christmas party this year, by the way. Oof.
Yeah. I nearly actually thought about ringing. You mentioned on the masterclass. What did you say?
The date and the venue.
No, he didn't say the date. He said the venue. And I said, I'm going to ring the venue and ask to book something and figure out what weekend it's on.
Okay, I'll share the date. This coming week with the ma'am, I think. I'll check with the team.
I was like,
I think Alex will drop it on the ma'am, or Taryn will drop it on the ma'am this week. So I think it's the 29th.
That's right.
The 29th of November.
We won't say
we're on the podcast, but because people will try to come and there'll be police and security because it's like it's pretty big this year.
Mega.
It's mega.
Yeah.
So, we're going to do 500 grand for the Kmart Salvation Army Peeler this year, and thousands, because I don't know if you know, that apparently there was, I don't know what the size was, but it was 4 or 5 trucks at sea. Remember I said, come to see you, but if you turn up without a present at the door, I'm fucking not letting you in. You're not and apparently they had 4 or 5 trucks. So not only did we raise like 250 grand in cash, there was 4 or 5 truckloads of presents. Plus clients would have just went into their local Kmart as well. I have no idea about.
Yeah.
So that this year I'm like, right, we're gonna blow the roof off this thing this year. Excellent. So we'll start talking about that soon as well.
I think once people learn exactly how you feel when you give, it becomes, and we were reflecting, and don't kick me off being a member, but
Oh, this could be
No,
bad.
I remember.
Where are you going?
We did speak about this yesterday.
Right.
That Stephen had come home from the Navy. We were together. He was 18. I might have been 15. And I remember he goes, we need to go to Kmart to the Wishing Tree and buy a gift. And I thought, well, no, I want a bigger gift. Why are you buying
For someone else? Yeah.
As a 15-year-old, that's exactly what I thought. And I remember cracking the shits at him that he was spending this money on other people. We've now done a 360 and I've learned. And I'm a very giving person, but I think you don't know what it's like to give until you see the reaction or the impact you can make on someone's life. And I think I remember telling you that when we had staff, we would have staff loans because I knew they couldn't afford things, had a casual workforce. So if they weren't getting the hours, I'd say, I'll give you an extra, $500 this week and you can pay me back $10 a week until that's paid. Stephen would buy shoes for staff.
You don't know what it feels like to give until you give unconditionally without expectation.
Correct.
But also, you don't realise the benefits of giving when you feel like you can't afford to give. Yeah. And the biggest time to give is when you think you can't.
Yep, that's so true.
It's the old story. You see, somebody that has nothing is the person that will give the shirt off their back or to someone else or whatever. Hey, you got a bus fit. It's pretty cool. It's wild. So this year we're gonna blow the roof off it. But
that's massive. That's massive.
It's a big ask.
What we're on that ma'am when you kicked that off, and it was just like a stopwatch. It was
I was done. I was crying. I was in tears.
And that was phenomenal. What did it get to?
200,000, I think it was.
Yeah. So
because Kmart and Salvos brought us a big check on stage and everything. I think it was 250 in total.
Yeah.
But then also separately, because the Current Affair came to Kmart Rabina.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did good stories, so good on them. I'm like, what? Anyway, they come and did this amazing story, and they interviewed us, the big boss of Kmart, the big head honchos of the Salvos.
Yeah.
And very kindly, and I didn't know until I watched the article, Kmart matched us that day dollar for dollar. So I think we were 40 or 50 grand that day in store.
Yeah.
They matched it dollar for dollar.
Yeah,
right?
Good on them.
Plus we had our online platform where it was all the cash went through.
Yeah.
And then that day as well, separate of that, not for media or anything like that, Beck and I paid off all store lay-bys at Rabina because Beck seen a lady walking out, and I remember as a kid, Mum would lay-by stuff a year ahead.
Yeah.
Then we'd go back to that old ratty counter at the back with the stickers, and she'd pull stuff out. And sadly, I'd get to pick something, and the rest would go back. She'd pay a fee, they charge you, and we'd actually get money back for food and for bills and for stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was quite like I talked about lay-by, and then Beck's seen a lady leaving with lay-bys, and she's like, come back in, come back. I mean, that was like 38 grand. So we paid that off, and I can't talk about it because I get them up, but people were coming into our office and seeing Jean at reception with horrific stories that we'd help them through just by having the present. Now it was a meal on Christmas Day plus all the presents and stuff. And no one would never have. We just said, if people ask, you can say who it was.
Yeah.
And the emails and the calls, and people went to our old office and to the new, and that was pretty cool. Yeah. So I think when you add it up, that year's 250, 300,000 overall, plus all the other stores and families going in, it's a lot more. But this year, I'm like, that thermometer on the website will be $500,000. Forget what we spend in store. Forget what we give separate of that. Forget all the toys. It's like there's no kid that should go without this year for Christmas.
Yeah,
that kind of nowhere near of scale. But when Steven became mayor, I was like 23, I think. Would have been 23, maybe 24, and I said, I want to be able to do something to give back. Like, we're lucky to have this position. And I always used to say, we're very fortunate what we can give our kids. We work very hard, but there's people that would like to be able to give their kids to go to the show and things like that, and they can't.
Can't afford a show ride.
Can't afford
the ticket to get in the game.
So I got sponsorship and started the Mayoress Family Fun Day, which was a free day for everyone. So it's 25,000 people, free day where you could bring your kids and
show rides, face painting, pony ride.
It was like going to the
raft.
show, but it was free.
Yep, love it.
And I can't remember the first year. I think there was something like 6,000 or 7,000 people. The lines
were wild.
They were so big, but people weren't complaining. It was free.
Yeah.
And I think I did that for 5 years, I reckon.
Yeah.
It puts a bit of joy in some families' faces.
But it wasn't. I just felt so privileged because if I went there as Jamie, who lives at wherever, and asked for funding, I don't know
you have the influence.
if I would have the influence. But thankfully, because of Steven, I was able to do that. And it was like great. People would look forward to it. Everyone was the same on that day. There was no, you can't have that because you can't afford it.
For anyone.
No.
Yeah.
It's pretty spell. They did the similar thing that Kmart Salvos when I was a kid, and we got presents. So I got a present from it with Mum, and they, I think, connected our electricity, and we had black and gold. You know, this is the welfare department you go into. We went into that. That's help. We needed help.
Yeah.
And back then, but they were doing the Lord Mayor's wishing tree. Yeah. And I think it was like the second or third year of Kmart, and there was a bit of a balance because I think Mum might have double dipped. I think there was a present from the Lord Mayor's tree and from the Kmart Salvo tree. Hey, it was a double bubble year, right? But again, like, child got 2 presents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and that's what happened in our community. We worked as a council, and as mayor I was figurehead for the campaign, but we worked in cahoots with, because Target had one as well as Kmart, and we had Baptist Care and Anglicare and St Vinny's and whatever on a committee, and we also worked in with Food Bank, so that it was a parcel of Christmas style food for the week as well.
Food's the easy one for people to forget as well. So coming into that time of year,
and the other thing that's easy for people to forget, the focus often goes on the kids, and probably rightly so. But there's a lot of isolated people, and it's a time of year that suicide goes up because people are just in the depths of despair. They're isolated. They might have lost someone during the year, if they're an elderly couple. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of issues that those appeals help with outside of just the present under the tree for the kid.
Massive amounts, Even welfare for food hampers, things like nappies, babies, food bank days, lunches. There's so many things that actually happen outside of the presents.
Yeah.
The present's the fluffy one. If you're going Christmas shopping with your family, take your kids and let them experience giving is the simple thing. It could be $20 toy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's so much that the money goes to. That's why I'm like, this year's like 500 grand. I don't care. Like, hell or high water, I'm getting fucking 500 grand. That thermometer's going to explode, right? It's happened. It's probably going to be $1. I'm going to be writing a big fucking check on stage on the Christmas party. But
but the challenge is out there for the Infinity community then, isn't it? Like, we're all doing well because of what we've got the benefit of.
And I think that's the thing I say for Beck and I, like, if we've helped you do so well, you paid your fees, you got a return on investment, can you give a little bit back? Yeah. I'm not going to judge you if I let you come back next year or not at all. But, just give a little.
The thing, though, G, is that the community will.
Yeah, they will.
The Infinity community
honestly,
will.
I think we'll blow the lid off it. Like, you work out thousands and thousands of families, right? It's not a big number each person.
No.
That's how I work it out each year.
Yeah.
Like, if I got 5,000, 10,000, this many, if everyone gives a couple of $100 or $100, but it's not a big number in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have saved them fucking many more thousands in interest than we're asking in contribution that's tax deductible.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, But I want to do this again in 6 months' time because we've got a couple of REMs coming up. We've got a few things changing for you guys, to jump back to you for a second, phase-wise.
Yeah.
So we might do this again in, say, December, in about 6 months' time. You're in June now.
Yep.
And if that's okay, and get where'd we go from where we were to this phase to the next phase, a bit of an evolution for people, because it helps it become a bit real. Okay, well, we did this. Well, that was temporary.
Yep.
Then we did this. I think that would be cool for people as well, if that's okay.
Cool. I want to find out too.
Yeah.
Because Jamie will organise it. I'll just go, yeah, whatever.
But I think that's what's great with Infinity is that it's not, I'll write you a loan for 4 properties and I'll see you in 20 years or something like that. Circumstances, or you might go, no, I can save more and you'll revisit. Like, it's forever changing.
Yeah, it's not set and forget. So it's okay. I say it's transformational, not transactional.
Yeah.
Previous advice, transactional.
Absolutely.
That's it. Transformational.
I did laugh the other day. When does this podcast go to air?
In the next week or two.
All right.
1 or 2.
I'm going to be game. I did have Conbank call me.
Yeah.
And they said, and I said, oh, look, I'm really talking to my, I don't know what I call you because I kind of be a little bit vague.
My G.
I don't say that, but it's like,
Our advisor.
yeah, something like that, my financial team or something. And she goes, yeah, but that with us, you're going to get like
The
support you need and all of that. And I'm like
What,
going...
for between 9:30 to 3:30 when the branch is fucking open, if there's a branch?
I was trying, and she's absolutely lovely, but I was like, you do not understand what you get
No.
when you're within...
Well, I can tell you, we've got, I'll say, hundreds, not thousands, hundreds of clients that work for fucking banks.
I know, but I thought it was just a funny thing.
A sales pitch.
Yeah, and I'm like going...
And look, she probably genuinely, deeply so cares between 9:30 and 3:30.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah. But it was just... I just got off the phone and I said to Steven, I don't want to like burn my bridges or anything, but this is what she said, and I did find it a little bit entertaining.
It is a bit, well, but you don't know what you don't know.
I know.
I mean, she will only know half of the bank staff still tell people a comparison rate is all the other banks and they're cheaper, not your actual fucking rate.
Yep.
So there you go. But we'll definitely do a round 2 because I think it'll be really valuable for everyone. But before we wrap up, I thought I'd see if you guys had anything that you wanted to ask me.
Have you got your pants on?
I do today.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a list.
Okay. Good. Let's go.
You need your list?
You ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, this will be good. I like this.
Can you pop that over that side? Because I'm going to need this space down here.
Careful of my balls.
I know. I've got one each.
Oh, this better be a good answer.
I got one serious one. And then I just wanted to do a quick fire 10 questions with you.
Go.
All right. If I can find the page. Fucking hell.
He used to write all his speeches on napkins. Literally, we would go to functions and he would go napkin and write his speech, and I'd be hyperventilating going, you should have had that done 2 weeks ago.
And I don't even write now. I'm just like, what comes out, comes out.
Oh, I got 2 questions, actually. 2 serious questions. First one, you mentioned on the weekend that you're expanding activities to the UK and the US.
The US, yeah.
Any potential future opportunities for Australian Infinity clients in those markets, or is that completely separate?
We've been working on a couple of different markets for the last few years, and everyone knows me, although I look quite flippant and flamboyant, I'm quite structured because I have a Rebecca. So quite structured, and the amount of research and everything that goes into it, we will definitely, and we are very heavily exploring US, UAE, America, Canada, like multiple places, US, etc., UK as well. But with those things come a lot of complexities. Why are we exploring them? Because I'm exploring them. And if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you. Now, different levels, but so there's quite a lot of work in the background going into that as we speak. They're all quite different and quite unique. For example, if you look at somewhere like Dubai or Abu Dhabi at the moment, you would pay a down payment, like your deposit, but during construction, you actually pay along the way. Right. Now, for you to invest there, you'll only get a loan, just say 50%. They'll lend you 50% at settlement. You have to actually pay 50% off during construction.
Yeah, okay.
Now the ones that don't do that are either gazillionaire, billionaire developers or buildings that never get out of the ground.
Yeah.
If you're buying new.
Yeah.
Right. Now over there, for example, and this is quite interesting, you can do what's called nominate or sell off once that gets to like, say, 40%. So if I'll give you an example. I buy $1 million apartment looking over the bay. I pay a 10% deposit of $100,000. I then continue to pay their building. Once I hit $400,000 paid, I become effectively a legal owner. I can on sell for anything I want. When the building's pretty much nearing completion and someone wants to live in it, they'll pay a premium to live. I can on-sell that for profit.
Yeah.
So that's just a weird example, right?
Yep.
So there's so many other things we're exploring. You know, America has multifamily where you buy a single title, not like you get one unit, you can buy the whole building, and the yields are through the roof, like wild returns on investment. With international comes a whole series of complexities, legalities, frameworks, licensing. We've got some big bills, but investing a couple of $1 million into compliance, licensing, all of that sort of stuff that goes hand in hand with that, because it's what would I tell a customer in Australia that's got one home and no investments to go invest in the UK, the UAE, the USA, the New Zealand? No, absolutely not, never. Would I tell a client that's been with me for 3 to 5 years, that's got 3 or 4 investments or 5 investments, that has paid their mortgage nearly off in full or on the way to, hey, I'm doing this, will I show you what I'm doing? Absolutely. And that's where we're heading very shortly.
Yeah.
Very shortly. Imminent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not the next 12 months, but definitely 18 months in a couple of other markets. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's to give some foresight now, so when people see that occur, they're, oh, that's a fucking dumb, you know, there'll be someone out there that thinks I don't have competitors. There'll be some Temu version of G out there that's like, oh, I fucking overset. I've worked on it for 4 years, you fuckhead. You know what I mean? Like, so when we do something, it's going to have been 3-4 years of regulatory data, this, that, the other, before we take on any international exposure.
And it's not as though you're some nuffy who's just come up with an idea and gone, let's explore this. You're well connected in those countries.
When people see what those things are, they'll be attached to and associated with some of the biggest brands in the world.
Yeah.
So people will get those opportunities and they'll be here first because it will be an internal thing. I'll turn the Zoom on or I'll do a live event. There'll be an invitation list of people who could suitably do that, suits their risk profiles, and we'll explore that together.
Yeah.
And we'll then have to provide not just advice here, but there'll be international advice, which you then, there's some expenses there because you're using some big reputable firms globally rather than, no disrespect to Marky Mark here, you know, great accountant, awesome guy, wants a kebab, but you're going to have a whole level of Marky and above in whatever that nation is as well.
Yep.
So, but yeah, some cool stuff. Watch this space. About 18 months.
Cool.
Yeah, not in the next 6 at all. Maybe 12, but more beyond 12 into 18 months, 14 to 18 months away.
Cool.
Jaime didn't want me to ask this question, but I'm going to anyway. I'm curious. You know, the CGT component, if you use a house as your primary place of residence, you can avoid CGT.
Well, your home has no CGT. So if you buy a home...
So there's a time period that you need to
But if you buy a home
Yep.
and you pay stamp duty and it's your home and you occupy it the day you settle and get the keys and it's first physically available
Yep.
and your honest intention is it's a home and you move into it, you connect your electricity, you put your furniture, you live in the home, right? It's never rented as an investment property from day one. That's your home.
Yep. So there's a 12-month period.
Well, again, you can only have one principal place of residence at a time. Okay, so you occupy the hot property. Mm-hmm. I have bought a home and sold it within under 12 months, audited by the tax office, and bought another home, and I've sold that without CGT.
Yeah, my question.
There's no rule that says I have to be there for a period of time.
Oh, okay.
But I can only have one principal place of residence per time.
Because when you're saying before about
I've moved 13 times in 12 years.
What's the future? Part of our future we're hoping is that we can be a little bit nomadic and come and live on the Gold Coast or go and live in Melbourne or wherever it is.
But you can only have one principal place of residence.
Yeah.
So you've got to pick one, put your foot on it.
Yep.
But then if you were to, for example, which is Adelaide.
Yep.
Except it might have been rented when you first...
I was going to say ours is in a horrible... Ours is in a trust.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go there. But anyway, it's a fucking shit structure, which is why we may sell that.
Yep.
Yeah, we're hoping... don't want to... what's it called?
Jinx. No.
I don't want to predetermine anything.
No,
but
for
part
example's
of,
sake,
but
we may sell
we're
that.
hoping that maybe when we come back in 6 months' time, we've reviewed our strategy because we're on this different phase.
Yep.
We might have been able to deal with that. And
let's say that I gave you a property in Main Beach where I've got my penthouse coming.
Yeah.
And that settles March next year maybe. And you buy that as your principal place of residence. You fuck off Adelaide in the trust.
Yeah.
And you move to the Gold Coast for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then you love that and you think, oh, I like this, but no, kids are in Adelaide, blah, blah, blah. And next year you then go buy another property in Adelaide and you move into that from day one.
Yeah.
Well, then you've got the 6-year rule. So you actually then can set the 6-year rule that you bought Main Beach, you moved into it. Let's just say you did live in it for a year, genuinely.
Yeah.
And you bounced with the kids when you went to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Then you go, need to be back near the kids. Genuinely, you start renting Main Beach. You've got the 6-year rule, but it was your home. You occupied it.
Yeah.
But what you can't do is buy Main Beach, rent it out for 6 to 12 months, and then go, oh no, it's my home, and move it. You bought it for the purpose of being an investment property.
No.
The one thing I say to people,
I just thought there was a time frame. I thought it was 12 months or something. And I was curious if
it's life, and there's a couple of changeover rules with the ATO and all that sort of stuff. I say, unless you're like Long Bay or Silverwater, never mess with the ATO. You always talk to your accountant, always get it in writing, all that sort of jazz, right?
Yeah.
Because if you do something wrong, they'll catch you these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're better off just not trying to pick up the soap.
Yeah. Have I ever been an arsehole?
Yes.
Have you ever been an arsehole? I don't think so.
Or an obstacle?
No, Knobstacle's the new one. I like Knobstacle. Yeah, I don't think so. No. No, pretty good.
I thought maybe you might have thought I was one once. It's okay.
No. I'll tell you what, if you were, it's so distant because there've been so many more that it's forgotten and it's a memory. Don't remind me. But I don't think so.
At least I'm not a fucking Robbie.
Fuck it.
Or a Nichelle.
Or Nishan or whatever his name was.
Nashland.
Yeah. Rapid fire questions, 10 of them.
Go.
There might be 11 because I can't
Pink.
count real well.
Purple.
Greatest rugby league player of all time.
Oh, fuck. That's a hard one. I'm just going to say Paul Gallen because we sponsor the Sharks and he's a good guy and he does heaps for community.
Good answer.
To give a reason.
Which movie character are you? Dominic Toretto, Fast and Furious, Rocky Balboa, The Terminator, or James Bond?
James Bond.
Yeah? What's that?
I don't know. He's suave.
He's suave.
That's what I would have
sexy
thought. That's what I
mofo.
He gets
thought.
the ladies.
He's suave, yeah. And you know what? He just solves everything. So like me, I'm either so fucking dumb and stubborn or I'm just super solutions driven. But whatever happens, he just solves it.
Yeah. And you look good in a tux.
I
You don't like him.
I look like the penguin in Batman. Danny DeVito.
You can have $100,000 or lunch with Warren Buffett. Which one are you choosing?
Oh, lunch.
Thought so. If you could only use one of these for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Your sauna or your ice bath?
Sauna.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be an ice man.
Sauna's changed my life.
Thank you, G. Because I keep saying he shouldn't have bought the ice bath and we should have
I
got...
reckon the ice bath's fucked. The sauna has changed my life. I'm right. I've got the sauna hat from Jesse Itzler, so you don't cook your brain. I've got the sauna. I'm right into... I have hyperhidrosis, one, because I'm chubby, but I actually sweat excessively.
Yeah.
And I've had Botox for it. I've had glands microwaved. I have like all sorts of shit, right? Like I was even on medication, but it gave me dry mouth from a neurosurgeon.
And you can't fucking do dry mouth when you're doing all this stuff.
Right, couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So, I found sauna. I did some research and we got one built at home in with the gym and that. If I sauna 20 minutes every night, I sleep like a baby and I track on my Oura ring.
Yeah.
I sleep like a baby. I feel better. I haven't been sick as often and I don't sweat. Like usually this room would be 16 degrees. Now it's like, 21, 22. Yeah. Saunas have changed my life.
I keep saying to Jamie, just go and get the fucking sauna, but she won't.
I'm a tight ass.
I don't like the infrared. I felt like it was cooking me from the inside out. I got proper rock water on it.
Because, we used to have one at the motel with water and rocks, didn't we? But I thought I wanted to go in infrared, but
I thought that, but I didn't rate it. So when we had one with the old, like the house we sold, I just sold the gym and the sauna. I sold it all like that. And then we got the rock one. I love it.
Okay.
Love it.
It's takeout night. It's your choice. What's your go-to?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Bex?
Pizza.
Both Italian.
Yeah. And if a perfect world, I would put the spaghetti bolognese on the pizza and wrap it up. But I'm
like a kebab.
Yeah, it's like an Italian kebab. Try it. Trust me. Try it one night, dump the spag ball all over the pizza and fold it up like a big pie and eat it. It will change your life.
Is it a Supreme Pizza or?
Nah, there's a place in Broadbeach here. I'm going to give it a plug. We're not sponsored. There's a place called Sal's in Broadbeach in the main street, SALS, like proper New York slice.
Right.
They do wings and ranch and all. It's proper like New York style pizza.
Yep.
Sal's in Broadbeach. If anyone's on holidays, hit it up. Absolute fucking favourite.
Okay.
New York style slice pizza.
Supercars or F1?
F1. Well, my supercar is an F1. Like, that's a hang on, explain.
Well, the Australian supercar, V8s.
Oh, no, V8. No, I got it on my teeth.
Yeah.
No, like, not V8 supercar. When you say supercar, I'm thinking like Lambo, Ferrari.
No. V8 supercars or
F1 every
F1.
day.
Yep.
Yeah, every day.
What travel destination or experience is at the top of your bucket list?
Top of my bucket list?
Currently, yeah.
Don't have one currently. I have a happy place in the world.
Which is here, isn't it?
Yeah, but separate of this, if anywhere on the planet where I become a different human being, ask Beck to see the photos and videos, is Cabo in Mexico, Cabo San Lucas.
Right.
There's a Rosewood resort there called Los Ventanas Paraíso.
Yeah.
Get picked up from the airport. I've got a fedora on. I've got a Hawaiian shirt on. I do not drink beer. I think beer tastes like camel's piss.
Yeah.
They have an esky in the Escalade with Coronitas. They're like baby-sized Coronas with lime. Like, welcome home, Mr. Home. I've got my hat, my shirt. I'm like this. I don't touch my phone, and I punch a fucking, I don't know how many little Coronitas in the car. I get there, and they got the fucking, they got the mariachi band, and they got tequila shots for me. And I go to the gym every day. I sleep in. I go to the gym every day. I float around the pool.
Yeah.
I get a tan. I read books. It is the only place on earth I do absolutely nothing. We can't figure out why, but I'm just instantly the happiest man in the world.
Yeah, cool.
That's awesome.
Only place on earth.
What was it called?
Los Ventanas in Cabo. It's a Rosewood resort. They have butlers, and I walk around. We go a couple times a year. Like if we can, we're in America on business at least twice a year because it's only a couple of hours to duck over. And I'm talking the gardeners that are the sand is raked like a Japanese Zen garden, right? And they'll be and I'll walk past them, morning, and they're like, morning, Mr. Home. Like the gardeners know my
Not morning, Mr. G.
No. I'll have to get that changed. But that's my happy place. Like the climate's beautiful. Whales are all migrating out the it's just I love it. And very simple, right? Some taco, like it's not like I'm saying, oh, I'm going to Europe and I'm on a super yacht. This hotel on the beach in Cabo, whales up and down, really good healthy food. I go to the gym every day, float around the pool like a whale every day. It's fucking beautiful. Heaven on earth.
There's a lot to be said about simplicity.
That's for me. It's the pool. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. I like Mexican food, and the people are beautiful.
Yeah.
And I don't. By the way, I don't leave the hotel.
Yep.
Yeah.
5 days, 10. I do not leave the hotel.
Yeah.
I just stay there.
Yeah. If your phone rang right now, you picked it up, and it was someone calling you to ask you to appear on their podcast. It could be anyone. Who would that someone be? Is it Ed Milet? Is it Steve Bartlett? Is it Joe Rogan? Whose podcast would you love to be on?
Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, or Joe Rogan, I'd say yes.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'd probably say no.
No. Okay.
And I get asked every day. And I think it's because if you go back and look at, I don't typically do anyone else's stuff.
Yep.
If you go back and look at both sides that went viral a couple of years ago at Christmas and blew them up, blew me up, and they're amazing too. But I think it was that they were genuinely learning from me. If you watch it,
you could see that.
Whoa! So everyone just they went along with it.
It was all those light bulb moments.
They were having so many light bulb moments, so I was enjoying. So we did another one and another one.
Yeah.
But since then, I've been peppered, and I just say no.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing here traditionally is only for our community. If I get other people listening and it helps, awesome, I've given back. It's free. Podcast YouTubes are free.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm trying to attract new clients. But for our clients, I want them to hear your story. They go, fuck, I can do better, or I'm making excuses. But I want someone for free who we don't know at all to benefit from it.
And in most cases, it's that podcaster that wants something of yours to rub off on them, right?
Well, they want to, everybody wants to elevate each other's brand. For me, I do business coaching with Ed Milet and Andy Frisella in a group called Arate, which means excellence.
Yep.
Spoken about that.
So they are fucking absolute pioneers, legends, no matter what you think of people or political or this or businesses, but they are amazing.
Yeah.
Right. So like one of the coolest dinners I've had was with Andy and Ed in America the other year.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Would be, yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. This was meant to be quick fire. It's turned into a nice conversation.
I answered them quickly, but then I got like,
I'm not having a go at you. It's good. Finish this sentence. Wealth isn't about money. It's about...
Say again?
Finish this sentence. Wealth isn't about money. It's about...
Contribution and legacy.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Wealth, not health, yeah?
Wealth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one thing people wrongly assume about you?
That I'm an arrogant prick and I don't care about people.
Yeah.
But it's actually anyone who knows me is the
Yeah.
polar opposite, because I have a big bravado, big personality, cranky, don't care. But it's because I know my shit and I know what I do for people and how much I care. And if that's, people can question it, but if you question it and rather than receive it and go, this guy gives a fuck, I don't have time for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there could be 10,000 people on my webinar. If 500 go, this guy actually gives a shit and he knows his stuff, do I actually give a fuck about 500 people questioning me?
Yeah.
Fuck no. I just care about the 500 people that are my tribe and my vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm really quick to just ignore that. But
Yeah.
it's a misconception for people, the flamboyance and the this and the big misconception for people. Once you get to know me,
Yeah.
everyone knows I really give a shit.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the shirt off my back.
Yeah.
So
Final question. What's better than 1?
21.
21 or 51 or 101?
61.
Yeah, keep going.
2,221.
Infinity and beyond.
221 million. Awesome, guys. Appreciate it.
Sweet. That was great.
Thanks. We'll see you again in 6 months.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Log it in.
Yeah, we'll show you how to FTP.